The T77LTE device, like its predecessor, the T67LTE, is known for its cellular capability. This means that this phone does not require an Ethernet or Wi-Fi connection. It can run entirely off the cellular network. There are quite a few upgrades with this device, however, particularly with the ability to auto-switch between LTE and LAN modes depending on signal strength. Basically, if your LTE signal goes down, the phone can auto-switch to your local area network, and if the phone is hardwired into the network and your network goes down, the phone can auto-switch to LTE, ensuring that your phone services remain available. In this video, we'll go over how to set up this phone, how to navigate through the menus, and how to perform basic call handling functions. We'll start with the setup. If this phone is going to be running solely off the cellular network, all you'll need to do is connect the stand by sliding it into the slot on the back, connect the handset, and plug the device into power. Note that the handset cable, which is the coiled cable, needs to go into the handset port, not the headset port. Look for the little phone icon. If you would like to connect this phone to the internet, you can do so either by plugging an Ethernet cable into the phone's internet port or by connecting to Wi-Fi through the phone's menu. We'll go over the menu options shortly. Once the phone is powered on, it will begin its initialization process. This can take up to 15 minutes. When it's finished, it will show the E911 address. Press OK to complete the process. Once complete, your home screen should look a bit like this. You'll see the time and date in the center of the screen, with quick access options below. To the left, you'll have your direct dial number listed 3 times, followed by a features key and some empty slots. Additional empty slots are on the right. Let's go over what all these buttons do. We'll start with the phone number on the left. These are your phone's 3 individual lines. Your phone can be on 3 calls at the same time, and those calls are managed with these buttons. When you're on a call, you'll see the first line in use and it'll say talking. If a second call comes in, you'll have the options to accept or silence the call on one of your other lines. If all 3 lines are in use and a 4th call comes in, that call will go to voicemail. Moving on to the features key. In here you'll find your options for things like call forwarding, messaging settings, and intercom settings. There are 3 different types of call forwarding you can do. If we click on the phone number here, we'll see them. Use always call forwarding if you want to send all calls that come into your phone to a different number. Busy and no answer forwarding is by default set to go to voicemail. If you want unanswered calls to go to a different phone number, you can adjust that here. If you want to adjust the amount of times your phone rings before going to voicemail, you can also do that in the same no answer forward settings. Anonymous call rejection, when enabled, will send all calls without a valid caller ID to voicemail. Be careful with this setting, as not everyone has caller ID enabled on their devices, and this may cause you to miss legitimate calls. Forward to voicemail settings will allow you to adjust how calls are forwarded to voicemail. For most users, this isn't something you'll need to mess with. SMS is where you can enable or disable text messaging to this device. Intercom refers to a function where you can automatically be connected to another OneTalk phone speaker. To enable this, you'll need to make sure that Intercom Allow is toggled on and Intercom Mute is toggled off. Once that's done, you can create a speed dial for intercoms. We'll cover speed dials shortly. Keep in mind that those intercom settings will need to be applied to all phones that will be using this feature, both on the phone sending the intercom and on the phone that will be receiving the intercom. The E911 setting will show you the address associated with your device. The address can be changed from within the OneTalk portal. Paging is similar to intercom in that it connects you to another phone speaker, but the difference is that it can send to multiple phone speakers at once instead of being just one-to-one. Like intercom, the settings need to be done on all phones that will be using the feature. Both send paging and accept paging will need to be enabled. One thing to note here is that paging will not work through LTE. The phone can be in LTE mode, but it will also need to be connected to the network either through Wi-Fi or Ethernet. The phone will need to be connected to the network in order to use the function, and it can only page other phones that are on the same network. Lastly, we have Start Log Capture. This is primarily used for troubleshooting. Right, let's return to the home screen. You have 2 open slots under the Features button and additional open slots to the right. More slots can be viewed by pressing the 3 dots on the bottom right here. These open slots are customizable, and you can use them for things like speed dials, intercom buttons, or paging buttons. To do so, just press and hold an empty slot and press Edit. This simulator unfortunately does not allow me to show that process, but you can also do this by going into the menu and then DSS key. From here, it's the same process. Press one of those empty slots and you'll see that the type is listed as NA. For a speed dial, you would press the speed dial option and you'll then be prompted to enter the label, which is going to be the name of your speed dial, and the value, which will be the phone number that speed dial calls. For an intercom button, press intercom. You'll need to enter a label and value for this as well. The value can be a phone number or extension, in which case this button will always intercom that particular user. You can also choose to leave the value field blank, in which case you would just press your new intercom button and then dial whatever extension or phone number you would like to intercom. If paging is enabled, you can also create a paging key from here as well. Paging keys do not require any specific label or value to be entered. The button will always page all users that are connected to the same network and have paging allow enabled. Okay. Let's go back home. This little square button with an arrow will minimize the two panels on the left and right. To maximize them again, press this button with the 3 lines. If we swipe down from the top, we can see additional quick settings like brightness, airplane mode, hotspot, and Bluetooth. Swiping back up takes us back to our home screen. From here, you can also view your phone's call history. From your history, you can select certain items by pressing the information icon. And if you press that edit icon at the top right, you can choose to save the number as a contact or block the number. To block the number, you would change the group here to block list. Any contacts that you've saved will show in your phone's directory. You'll have a local directory, which is any contacts you've added manually, a remote directory, which is your company contact directory pushed out through the OneTalk portal, and a block list directory, which is the list of any numbers that you've blocked. D&D stands for Do Not Disturb and will send all calls to voicemail. When it's enabled, you'll see this little banner at the top. Right, now let's take a look at our menu. The About section will show general information about your phone, like the device model and the firmware version. In the General section, you can change the name of your device, you can change the language, adjust time and date settings, or reboot or power off the device. In the Display section, you can adjust the phone's brightness, backlight, wallpaper, screensaver, or navigation bar position. If you would like to upload a custom wallpaper, there is a USB slot on the side of your phone. In the Audio section, you can enable things like keytones or touch tones or change the ringtone. The ringtone section isn't visible on this simulator, but on your phone, you'll find it right underneath Ring Your Device. The Bluetooth section is where you'll go if you want to connect a Bluetooth device, and the Wi-Fi section is where you can enable Wi-Fi and connect to a wireless network. If you'd like to enable the hotspot functionality, you can do so in the hotspot section. This phone has a built-in mobile hotspot feature where you can share your phone's monthly 5 GB cellular data allocation with up to 3 other devices. All data consumed by those connected devices is going to be pulled from the Dust phone's monthly mobile data allowance. Keep in mind that if the total data used by your Dust phone plus any devices you have connected to its hotspot exceeds that monthly data allowance, there are additional overage charges. In the accessibility section, you can enable features like larger text, high contrast mode, or color correction. Switch account mode is where you'll go if you want to manually switch from LTE mode to LAN mode or vice versa. The advanced settings are password protected and are typically only used for things like factory resets. To factory reset your device, you'll need to enter the password and then reset to factory settings. There's also an option here to change the administrative password. We typically don't recommend doing this, as if you ever forget this password, there isn't a way for it to be changed back to the default. Alright, now that we've gone through all the settings on the screen, we'll take a moment to look at the icons on the bottom half of the device before we jump into call handling. The pause button and the phone-to-phone icons are for hold and transfer, respectively. Whenever you're on an active call, you'll have these options on the screen as well, and we'll go over that shortly. For now, just know that these are additional ways of performing those functions. The envelope key here is for accessing your voicemail. The voicemail will need to be set up on your device. To set up the voicemail, just press the envelope key and the system will walk you through selecting your language, creating a password, and setting up your personal greeting. Once your mailbox is set up, you can access your voicemail at any time by pressing this envelope key. Additionally, whenever you have a voicemail, you'll have an indicator light at the top of your phone, and you'll see a prompt on the home screen of your device alerting you that you have a voicemail and a missed call. Next up, we have our volume button. Whenever the phone is sitting idle, this will adjust the ringer. If you're on a call, it will adjust the sound of that call. and if you're on speaker, it will adjust the sound of the speaker. And your speakerphone button is this megaphone over on the right. The microphone with a line through it is your mute key. So if you're on a call with someone and you don't want them to hear you for whatever reason, you can put that call on mute. This glows red when it's pressed, and you'll also see on the screen that the call is muted. Headset icon is for headset mode. So these phones do have Bluetooth capability, as we've seen, and they also have a headset port in the back. If you'd like to connect a headset, you can do so, and then you can enter or exit headset mode by pressing this icon. Lastly, we have this redial or call history key. As we've seen, you can also access your call history from the home screen. Now let's get into actual call handling. Whenever you're on an active call, you'll see that the buttons across the bottom have changed. So we now have options for hold, transfer, park, more, conference, and end call. The more key is where you'll find the record option. So these phones do support call recording, and all recordings will be saved locally to the device unless you have a USB inserted. You can find those saved recordings on the home screen by swiping to the left and then pressing recorder. All right, we'll start with transferring. Whenever you press transfer, the phone will automatically put the call on hold, so you do not have to press hold first. To transfer a call, just press transfer, then enter the phone number or extension you would like to send the call to. From there, you'll choose if you're doing a direct transfer or a consultative transfer. A direct transfer is going to send the call directly to that person. So all you'll do is press transfer, enter their number, hit direct, and you're done. Consultative transfers are used when you want to announce the call before sending it over. These types of transfers do have an additional step. After you hit consult, it's going to call that person, you'll announce the call, and when you've finished announcing the call, you'll press transfer again to finish sending it over. If that person says they can't take that call for whatever reason, you can press cancel, and it'll bring you back to that person waiting on hold in the background. If you want to send the call directly to voicemail, the steps are pretty similar with one major difference. You would press transfer and then dial **55, followed by the extension or phone number of the person whose voicemail you're sending it to, and then choose direct. So for example, if you wanted to send a call directly to extension 100's voicemail, you would press transfer, then enter **55 and then hit direct. Next up, we'll go over conference calls. These are pretty straightforward. From an active call, you'll just press conference, then enter the phone number or extension you'd like to bring in, call them, and then once they answer, press conference again. You can have up to 6 people in a conference call, including yourself, so if you'd like to add someone else in, just do those same steps again. Press conference, enter their phone number, call them, and then conference again. And lastly, let's talk about parking calls. Parking refers to placing a call on hold on another phone's line. So whenever a call is placed on hold, it's only held on your own device. If you want to place a call on hold and have someone else be able to pick it up, you'll need to park it. To do so, just press park, and then the phone will actually tell you what to do. You'll hear instructions to enter the phone number or extension where you'd like to park that call, followed by the pound sign. That person will then receive a pop-up on their phone that says that the call is parked and able to be retrieved. The big difference between transferring and parking is that whenever you transfer a call, if the person doesn't answer, it's going to go to their voicemail. Whenever you park a call, however, if that call is not retrieved, it's going to return to you. The default time for that is 45 seconds, but that can be adjusted up to 10 minutes from within the OneTalk portal. And that's it. Thank you for watching this tutorial video. If you have any other questions about the functionality of your device, please contact your Masters Telecom representative for additional assistance.